In the intricate web of ecosystems, a miniature society thrives, the Attini tribe, renowned as the leafcutter ants. Join us on a fascinating journey into the world of these industrious creatures, as we uncover their evolutionary history, ecological significance, and the challenges it confronts. Hidden beneath the leaf litter carpeting tropical forests across the Americas, vast underground cities populated by millions of industrious ants have existed for millions of years. These are not ordinary ant colonies, but rather agriculturalists cultivating subterranean fungus gardens nourishing entire metropolitan societies in a symbiotic relationship dating back over 60 million years to the prehistoric era when dinosaurs still roamed. As the pioneers of fungi culture and one of the first known examples of domesticated agriculture, the humble Attini tribe legends reveal a parallel story to human civilization's own agricultural revolution, arising independently millions of years earlier. Encompassing over 230 described ant species spanning 12 genera and originating in the neotropics, these miniature farmers have honed intricate symbioses essential to entire Amazonian ecosystems today. In addition to extensive fungus cultivation traditions, some species co-evolved complex relationships with antibiotic-producing bacteria providing biochemical defenses against pathogens while others developed specialized defensive enzymes facilitating robust fungal crop-tending abilities. Without the ubiquitous Attini presence perpetuating these ancient myco-agricultural traditions, the biodiversity and subsequent ecological trajectories of vast swaths of Latin American rainforests and surrounding environments may have progressed quite differently. Evolutionary history. The evolutionary saga of the fungus-farming Attini ants spans an immense timeframe epitomizing the exceptional antiquity of these industrious insects undertaking their mycelial mastery. Recent phylogenetic studies including molecular clock dating, fossil evidence and records of fungal associations indicate the Attini lineage originated around 65 to 75 million years ago during the Upper Cretaceous alongside the last non-avian dinosaurs. Ancestors diverging from the parent stock of Ponerine ants first evolved agriculture perhaps as a survival strategy amidst ecological turmoil surrounding the cataclysmic Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction event some 66 million years ago. During this time of upheaval, Proto-Attini species transitioning into symbiosis with decomposer fungi within the Agaricales order would have provided novel methods of unlocking nutrients from recalcitrant organic matter in newly depauperate landscapes. Over the next 25 million years, the evolutionary associations crystallized into multiple co-evolved ant-fungus combinations where the exclusive farmer identity became cemented across various Attini genera. Fossil evidence indicates incipient, proto-agricultural, behavior like leaf litter gathering to manure fungal gardens was already well established by around 20 to 25 million years ago through the Miocene epoch as crown Attine lineages diversified into modern forms sculpting neotropical rainforests. Thanks to their long-standing lineage within tropical forests relatively undisturbed by climatic cataclysms like the glaciation cycles greatly reshaping temperate biomes, the antiquity of the Attine agricultural mutualism stands virtually unrivaled. Molecular evidence indicates this specialized fungi culture accounts for around 55% of dry weight in the diet of modern leafcutter ants responsible for harvesting nearly 20% of all leaf biomass produced in neotropical forests annually, a staggering ecological impact originating over 60 million years ago. Despite their ubiquity and outsized influence on neotropical habitats, the evolutionary and ecological processes involved over deep time in establishing and refining these mutualisms remain underexplored. Like all ants, Attini including the renowned leaf-cutting ants fall under the family Formicidae with a typical profile of 2 pairs of antennae, 3 main body regions, head, mesosoma and metasoma, and 6 legs used for ambulation and subterranean excavation. Superficially minimalist in appearance, the diminutive Attine worker caste nonetheless exhibits anatomical specializations finely tuned for their fungi-cultural responsibilities across various genera and species. For example, leafcutter ant workers possess powerful mandibles capable of shearing swaths from living foliage with each bite. This vegetation is then transported back to subterranean gardens where the fresh leaf substrate can be masticated into a nutritive mulch promoting the growth of their domesticated Lepiotacea fungi. Other Attine genera rely more heavily on harvesting insect frass, fruits, flowers, seeds and other organic detritus to nourish divergent fungal lineages evolutionarily traceable to specific clades within the Agaricales order. In those cases, traits like enlarged biting appendages, absorbent semaphore modifications on the abdomen for transporting moist pellets and specialized stores of antibiotic-secreting glands all enable efficient fungus cultivation with enhanced pathogen resistance. Across the genera, division of labor specializations frequently arise with dedicated worker subcastes tending to either fungi culture maintenance or rearing immature larval stages in safety while grouped nursery chambers adjacent to fungal gardens. Perhaps the most conspicuous adaptation associated with the lower attine is the complete lack of eyes in some genera, with their duties entirely restricted to lightless subterranean environs, while upper attines entrusted with foraging obligations beyond the nest retain functional eyes and pigmented bodies for visual navigation. Ecology. The ubiquitous ecological impacts of attine ants span virtually every major tropical ecosystem across Central and South America. As nature's original farmers cultivating domesticated crops underground for over 60 million years, they remain intertwined with foundational ecosystem processes ranging from plant biomass recycling to dispersal of ectomycorrhizal fungal spores beneficial for tree establishment and survival. Leafcutter ants of the genera Atta and Acromyrmex are responsible for harvesting and processing an estimated 15 to 20% of all leaf biomass produced annually within the neotropics, fueling their intricate fungal cultivars spanning vast underground networks that qualify as one of the world's largest non-industrial agricultural systems. Meanwhile, other smaller attine genera specialize in decomposing and recycling leaf litter, insect frass, fruit debris and various other organic detritus into similar subterranean agroecosystems. As such, attine ants remain critical for maintaining nutrient cycling while facilitating the regeneration of forests following clearings like tree falls by disseminating the spores of fungi spanning the Agaricales order, the main decomposers allowing seedlings to establish on rotting trunks and woody detritus. Indirectly mediating photosynthetic carbon flows and enabling greater tree diversity, attines thus provide ecosystem services reaching well beyond their cryptic seemingly innocuous roles as fungal farmers. Recent carbon cycle models suggest these ants may be responsible for up to 25% of all terrestrial carbon mobilization and routing within tropical Western Hemisphere rainforests, underscoring their ecological essentiality despite lower visibility to nature observers focused on more charismatic central casting members like colorful birds or apex predators. At higher trophic levels, the conspicuous leaf harvesting behavior undertaken by leafcutters renders them common prey items for various insectivores from birds to mammals like anteaters. Meanwhile, abandoned fungal gardens from raided attine nests frequently support a diverse array of fungus-feeding insects while simultaneously dispersing spores propagating the underground farms across landscapes. Even the waste accumulations processed by these ants represent exploitable niches for specially adapted microfauna, forming intricate underground ecosystems dependent on the industrious activities of these tireless cryptic workers. Habitat and behavior. While distribution of attine ants including leafcutters ranges from northern Argentina up into the southwestern United States, core habitat consists of humid tropical and subtropical broadleaf rainforests, seasonal woodlands, and cloud forest environments found across Central America and much of South America east of the Andes Mountains. Factors governing habitat selection include soil characteristics, regional temperature and moisture profiles allowing subterranean nesting, and ample foliar biomass to sustain fungal cropping on an industrial scale. However, some drought-tolerant attine genera can persist even in semi-arid habitats ill-suited for larger leafcutters. Upper attine species tend to construct more robust above-ground nest structures than lower genera which frequently excavate fully subterranean fungal chambers without conspicuous surface elements. Perhaps the most instantly recognizable activity associated with attine ants involves their dedicated foraging trails leading back to the nest-carving visible paths through leaf litter substrates. With colonies reaching over 5 million individuals, mature leafcutter nests contain underground networks of fungal gardens capable of spanning areas as extensive as 200 square meters fed exclusively by the incessant harvests undertaken by masses of ant workers. These foragers often travel hundreds of feet to selectively defoliate targeted trees before dragging their leaf payload back through subterranean tunnels into the core underground agroecosystems where successive processing stages unfold. Fresh leaf arrivals are first masticated into a soft pulp by specialized mandible workers trimming away non-nutritive portions like cuticles while implanting starter cultures of the fungus on the nutrient-rich substrate. From there the prepared compost is carefully tended by additional dedicated worker subcastes transplanting fungus growths across ever-expanding garden chambers fertilized through additional fresh leaf harvests. Fungal cones provide sustenance for ant larvae which contribute attine waste products back into maturing gardens, ensuring stable nutrient cycling keeps the colony thriving indefinitely as fungal cropping continues endlessly without external food sources. Conclusion. In many respects, the tale of the humble attine ant tribe represents nothing short of one of life's greatest unseen triumphs on planet Earth. Their origination traces back over 60 million years ago to the shadow of the non-avian dinosaurs' demise. Epic perseverance through climatic revolutions. Few groups survived while simultaneously engineering one of the earliest manifestations of agriculture anywhere. Refined mastery perfecting mutualistic domestication of farmed fungi unfolded gradually in rudimentary behavioral lineages culminating in modern incarnations like the famously industrious leafcutter ants capable of stripping entire forests bare in service of their underground crops. Hard-won biochemical alliances were even forged with antibiotic-producing bacteria to protect meticulously cultivated edible fungus gardens from pathogens in microevolutionary arms races playing out over tens of millions of years. All this ingenuity arose exclusively through the inscrutable calculus of deep-time selective sweeps sculpting life's myriad genetic inheritance systems, leaving consummate biological legacies encoded across disparate flourishes of consummate specialization in biodiversity hotspots like the neotropics. So extensive is the influence of these ubiquitous insect famers that estimates suggest up to 25% of carbon cycled annually through the Western Hemisphere's equatorial rainforest traverse the decomposer pathways, symbioses and myco-agricultural systems intersecting the Attini's cryptobiotic domain. As we look towards an uncertain future of anthropogenic climate change and unsustainable habitat loss, the fate of these remarkably ancient agricultural traditions becomes increasingly precarious across core habitats. Unchecked tropical deforestation not only eradicates the irreplaceable biodiversity coveted by greenies, but more profoundly severs ecological connectivity, sustaining deep evolutionary narratives woven across epochs transcending even the very existence of our hominid ancestors. With a single swipe of the bulldozer's blade, 60 million years of highly refined biological mastery risks deletion, just another expendable sacrifice on the altar of ill-conceived progress. What right do we assert to so flippantly dissolve nature's foundational expertise on symbiosis and sustainable agriculture? A poignant choice remains: recognize, revere, and integrate these finely honed organic intelligences, or face diminishment of our own human prospects irreparably crippled by ecological amnesia.